Nah, be in the lab.
Alright. But yeah, that video is crazy.
Yeah, it was. Like I said, I tried to get Michael to watch it.
What's going on with Ren and Stimpy?
They're bringing it back.
You know, that was the only show on Nickelodeon that my mom would not let me watch.
The funniest thing about it is I never liked it. Like, it was never... And
it was horrible.
Well, the thing is, it reaches a certain demographic. But I guess my question is...
Like Beavis and Butthead?
Kinda, yeah. But can't... Like, Beavis and Butthead, you can bring back. Like, because it's just two idiots thinking they're smarter than everybody else, basically doing reaction videos. Same shit we do.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying with not Beavis and Butthead, but Ren and Stimpy, their shtick was so much a part of the creator, and can you capture that lightning in a bottle for those kids now that they're adults?
No, we're alive.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You weren't gonna tell us?
I didn't know we were alive.
You were terrible.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? It doesn't do the same thing anymore. They changed out how it works.
When were you gonna tell us that?
Right now.
It doesn't give like a countdown?
No, not anymore.
So it never gave a
y'all.
countdown.
No, but there was a thing where you could be like, go live.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you hit start streaming on there, it automatically goes live.
Where can I see this? I'm not seeing it on the... can I see y'all?
What do you mean, can you see us?
Oh, you would have to put the laptop up so she can see us. Because I moved it because I refused to let Lauren see me in my glory.
I don't know that that's going to work with with the cable.
Ha ha! And I'm not moving.
Really?
Plus the cable ain't long enough.
Hey, Lauren.
Hey.
Hey, there we go.
Mean.
There we
I'm
go.
not mean, I'm hurt. Too much stuff is changing.
But we ain't gonna talk about it right now.
Right, okay? Let's not do that.
2020's taking too much from me.
Anyway, what's up, Internet World? We are the News 19 Nerds. I'm Michael.
I'm angry.
I'm Lauren.
There we go.
I'm free.
You...
Really? That's how... Really?
But we're not going to talk about it.
I know.
We're not gonna talk about it.
Okay. That's what's up. We are here for another edition of Press Play. Whoever is joining us now, I don't know who we got in the chat so far.
I can't get the thing to load.
Oh, you whack.
It didn't load either, so maybe it's not...
Oh,
we not live?
he said we were live and said that he could see us.
Yeah, I got 7 people watching.
I got 12.
Oh, well, see, there you go.
Okay,
Okay, Damien Estrada, Breck Warren, IMAX, Brian Gamer, Zayla Maru, Brian Gamer says Avengers is a game of the year.
Brian Gamer, where are you playing at? Are you playing on Xbox or PlayStation 4? Let me know. Because I got the beta that I'm going to play as soon as I get home. I need some people to play with. Yeah.
Okay.
I downloaded the beta Tuesday.
I might play it, man.
At least download the beta.
I'm just not optimistic about it.
You can't play it this week, but you can play it next week.
I don't want my feel like I'm already hurt. I'm already in my emotions.
Okay.
And I don't need something else to hit me hard.
Okay.
So if this game ain't good, I'm gonna be hurt.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah. As soon as I get out of here, I'm going straight home to play.
All right.
All night. Hopefully.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. Let's start with the joy. What got y'all through the week? Lauren.
You want me to start? Okay.
Yeah.
Mike is king.
I meant to ask you, and I should have known you had seen it, but you didn't tell me to go see it. So I was like, oh, maybe she hadn't watched it yet. But
come on now.
Well, because, Lauren, if anything Beyonce comes out, she will tell you, watch it. She didn't tell me to watch it yet, so I assumed she hadn't seen it yet. I should have known better.
I was going to some other things, though, too, so Black is King just kind of helped me out.
Okay. That's you.
Animal Crossing still. Animal Crossing, man, that game is great. It's slow paced. It's just, I'm over here gathering my bells. I'm out here paying off my house mortgage to Tom Nook and the loan, expanding my island, growing an empire. Man, these animals are going to worship me. I'm excited.
Doing big things.
I am. I'm doing big things on my island called Angel Grove.
Okay, Jim Jones. That was kind of ominous.
I'm just saying.
Brian Gamer, they did do review Hamilton. It was about 87,000 people on the chat. Not on the chat, in the video.
It was like 8.
87,000, same thing.
To 87,000.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
close enough.
Cool.
They did review it. I did not review it. I was off. But I did watch it. I have watched it. That's all I'm going to say.
He likes it, and he don't want to admit it, but he likes it. Ain't that right?
Alexander Hamilton.
Yeah, exactly. What got you through the week?
I found a new show on Hulu.
Uh-huh.
Actually, 2 shows. One I hate, and I should have never watched it. And the other one I do. One is United We Fall with Will Sasso and I forget her name. Jane Curtin is also in it.
I've seen the thumbnail or whatever pop up.
It's not great.
Okay.
I'm not by any, but it's funny because it's 2 people who have a toddler and like a 5-year-old or a 6-year-old, and they're like parents who are like just barely getting by. But I like it because Will Sasso, one of the greatest sketch comedians when he did Kenny Rogers.
Kenny Rogers was funny on Mad
Kenny
TV.
Rogers on Mad TV, and his wife is Latin, Hispanic, and just the 2 kids who portray their kids are cute as, I mean, but she's different. She's not normal, and the hijinks that they get into. It's like 5 episodes, and then I found we were searching through. My wife has found it's called Unexpected.
Mm-hmm.
It's about teen moms, and they are terrible. But this
Like
is
terrible human beings?
so the girls are teen moms.
Mm-hmm.
Every single one of the girls' moms were teen moms.
Okay.
And then some of their
These are
grandmothers.
generational curses.
Yes, like generational teen parents.
Okay.
And I'm like, when you have a new kid, you honestly think, am I doing everything right? You're overwhelmed with emotions.
Yeah.
Watching Unexpected has boosted my self-esteem so much because I'm like, I ain't did that.
I haven't done that yet.
I hadn't done
So there
that.
you go. Okay.
I didn't call my mother. I didn't call my mother-in-law F&B at the baby shower.
Okay.
I didn't get arrested for the reunion show and have to be in and broke my probation.
Okay.
So, along with Outer Worlds. So
where we starting?
let's start with the big elephant in the room. Ren and Stimpy.
Is it?
Kinda, yeah, because it's like, because it's got to, this is something I wanted to pretty much ask you two because I didn't watch it, and I wanted to ask them, the chat. Ren and Stimpy's coming back. Do you care?
It's come back to Comedy Central.
Coming back to Comedy Central. It's not, and this is the thing, it's more adult theme. Even though I think Ren and Stimpy, the original, was adult theme, they just got away with it.
Yeah.
Do you care? And can you watch a show knowing that the creator was accused of sexual misconduct and the art for the show came from so much of his personality? Can you separate the two?
Well, with the new reboot, he's not a part of it. Mm-hmm. So to me, that's like, sure.
He's not a part of it, but I guess what I'm saying is, can you capture that same imagination from a new group, considering what Ren and Stimpy was so key to him?
Yeah, but I think you can, just because the people that are inspired by him don't have to follow the same antics and bad practices that he had to still enjoy the show.
True.
I liked Ren and Stimpy. Me and my sister used to watch it all the time. I remember Log. It was a sketch within the show where the log wouldn't do anything, and it would just sit there because it was a literal piece of wood log. I thought that was funny. I remember, that was a good show to me. It was fun. It was just weird in a time when you didn't really have all that stuff.
No, it was.
You didn't.
It was the first of its kind.
My bigger thing is, so for me, I can't separate the artist from the art for this, just mainly because he's not involved with it. That's cool. But I'm wondering if it's going to be able to stand out, because all of the crazy stuff that it did then, a lot of shows are doing now.
Yeah.
So it's not as unique as it was.
Yeah.
Lauren, what about you?
Yeah.
You said that was.
I wasn't allowed to watch it. I would sneak and watch it sometimes, but my mom was like, "Yeah, no, you can't watch Ren and Stimpy."
Did you like it though?
So, whenever I did watch it, I was confused. I think I was too young. I mean, when did it come out? Like in early '90s?
It was like one of the original '90s Nicktoons, because it was like Ren and Stimpy. It was Rugrats.
Rugrats was
Yeah.
Doug.
And Doug,
Professor
yeah.
Doug. I mean, I was watching religiously.
I think
knew
it
every
was.
episode.
I think it was those three. Is like the
But
original
Ren and Stimpy-
Nicktoons.
And
Yeah.
the one thing about Ren and Stimpy was, Michael, you brought up, they were the first of their kind to do basically what people would consider ugly animation.
Mm-hmm.
The characters were not attractive.
It was ugly.
They did a lot of gross out humor,
Mm-hmm.
and to me it almost seemed like it was the show that shouldn't have worked. It's almost like what we do here. Ask for forgiveness, don't ask for permission. They didn't literally ask for permission. They just did the show and got on air. And then it caught fire and they were like, yeah, this is what we try to do. And then everybody tried to follow behind them. But it's almost like, how do you top yourself once everything you've done that you basically broke the mold, everybody's doing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I just remember them having boogers.
They
That was
were.
weird.
It was whenever they did gross out humor, they would almost go hyper detailed and descriptive on whatever the gross out situation was.
Oh, yeah.
Just to try and get a reaction out of you for sure.
Oh,
yeah.
It was a weird show. I liked it. Was it Powdered Toast Man?
I don't know. I never watched it.
Chat, y'all let me know. I feel like it was Powdered Toast Man was the guy who his head was toast and he had underwear and he was a muscular guy and he was another character on the show. Just random.
I will say this: as gross as the animation was very detailed. It was one of the few animated shows that I was like, the art design was very well done for what it was trying to do. Like you watch a lot of shows, and I'm not knocking. Don't get me wrong. Go back and look at Batman Animated Adventures. There's a palette scheme that they use for two reasons. One, because of Batman and it's dark, but also because they didn't have a big budget.
Right.
But what Ren and Stimpy was able to do with the art design that they had, they used to go, and again, I didn't watch the show, but like when you flip through and you're like, what is this? And you're like, that's Ren and Stimpy? You're like, oh my God, that's great art design. Who were some of the, I'd say children of Ren and Stimpy?
What does that mean?
In other words, Ren
Like
and
what show spun off from it?
No, it's not spawn off, but like, what do you think if you didn't have, if you wouldn't have this show if you didn't have Ren and Stimpy?
I think you could draw a parallel, not in terms of what they deal with, but just kind of being weird, like Rick and Morty.
Okay.
Just because, I mean, it's kind of a weird, it can be a little gross at times, kind of crass. I feel like it kind of has that same kind of.
I don't think it's gross like like Ren and Stimpy.
It's not, maybe not gross, but it can definitely be kind of just outrageous humor at times.
I think, I guess what I'm asking is, what about Rocco's Modern Life, Cat Dog?
Also Johnny Bravo too. I feel like Johnny Bravo might have been kind of.
I guess
It opened the door for him.
Johan Vasquez, creator of Invader Zim, he talks about watching Ren and Stimpy when he was, and designing, Johnny Homicidal Maniac and Invader Zim. I guess, is there a through line from where you can show, because it's almost like the Cosby Show. You have the Cosby Show here, you have a through line that you would not have gotten certain shows without having the Cosby Show. You would have never had a different world. You probably wouldn't have got the Bertie Mac show. These different shows that we got. What are some of the shows that you would not have gotten without Ren and Stimpy? Because they literally broke the mold.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you're probably dealing with like a Courage. You guys remember Courage?
Courage the Cowardly Dog?
Yeah, the Courage the Cowardly Dog. I was trying to think about Courage. Couldn't think of the name.
I feel like a show like that you may not have got. And then you go back to Cat Dog. Cat Dog is it is a little cat and a dog.
Yeah.
But also you had a cat and a dog in Ren and Stimpy. Because which one? Ren was the Chihuahua, and then Stimpy was the Stimpy. Yeah, Stimpy was the cat. So I mean, you have that parallel as well. Rocco's Modern Life, I feel like you still might have got only because it happened pretty soon after Ren and Stimpy. So I don't know if they looked at it as inspiration. I don't know.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, a lot of your Cartoon Network shows you may not have gotten just based off of Ren and Stimpy. And a show that I think has a wider appeal, but definitely has some adult humor to it, SpongeBob.
Man,
yes.
I still quote SpongeBob.
Yeah, SpongeBob is it appeals. It does a lot of the same stuff, or it can kind of break the mold sometimes with some of the humor that it does. My episode that I always go to is the curse word episode, where they were cursing all the time. They would bleep it out with whatever nautical noises or whatever. That's crazy to think that would be on TV, and everybody liked it and enjoyed it. And I feel like that would probably not have been what it was without something like Ren and Stimpy.
And I guess that's
And then you had the episode where Patrick and SpongeBob were taking care of the baby clam.
Mm-hmm.
And Patrick was going to work as like the dad.
Yeah.
And SpongeBob was doing all this stuff at the house like a
Yeah.
mom would do or something, including having his rollers in.
Yeah.
But I guess now the question is, like you mentioned, these are shows that were meant for kids, and now it's on Cartoon. I'm not Cartoon. It's on Comedy Central. They're not shooting for kids anymore. They're shooting for. You see, I guess my question is, can you do?
I don't think Ren and Stimpy was ever meant for kids though, because it came on later, as far as I remember. I don't think it was.
But it wasn't
meant
prime
for
time.
maybe like the young adult. Because Cartoon Network didn't really have that Adult Swim
They didn't, but
area.
but
This wasn't Cartoon Network though. This was Nickelodeon.
this is Nickelodeon.
It was Nickelodeon, and I'm saying Nickelodeon didn't have that area either.
I see what you're saying.
Adult Swim didn't exist, so there wasn't really an avenue for them. I think they just said, okay, we're going to put this on later in the day.
True, but
and
I guess
hopefully the kids aren't watching.
But I guess my point is, if you put it on Nickelodeon, you meant for kids to watch it. Because Nickelodeon at the time didn't differentiate between this is more adult.
Yeah,
they didn't.
For Nickelodeon, their adult stuff was Nick at Night.
Yeah.
That was like totally different.
Right.
This is
Or Toonami.
that's Cartoon Network.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You're right. But yeah, you didn't like the Adult Swim didn't happen until years later.
Yeah.
Um,
Going through the comments, Zayla Maru says Rick and Morty. Damon Estrada says Freakazoid. Man, I really love Freakazoid. Did y'all watch Freakazoid?
I did.
That was a great
I did.
show. That was a renaissance of like WB when it was
Zany.
Freakazoid, Animaniacs, and even before those.
Slappy the Squirrel.
Tiny Toons.
Yeah.
I kind of really kicked all that whole stuff. And the show that I love that nobody watched, or a few people watched, was a show called Hysteria. I've talked about it a few times on the show, but it was a show. It was an animated show, but they would talk about historical segments with a funny twist on it.
I think I remember that.
Yeah.
I have to go look it up. I think I remember that. Somebody else said in the chat they were talking about Ren and Stimpy was good, but it's time to leave things in the past. In my opinion, that was Damien Estrada. Zayla Maru says, I'm not watching Ren and Stimpy. D. Steezel says, I think Ren and Stimpy is 15 years too late. You were right, Michael. Powdered Toast Man.
Yeah. Brian Porter says that show was trash. I'm an anime snob. That Beavis and Butthead and the rest of that stuff garbage. Ryan Porter, go more into that and just say, because it's easy to say it's trash, but do you mean because is it trash because the way it was animated and it didn't look as smooth as anime would look, or was it just trash? You don't like the subject matter? Just go deeper into that for us. I'm curious.
Because there are some people who cannot stand that animation style.
It has that choppy look. It's
well,
hard to watch.
Well, it's jarring to some people. Like let's say if you grew up watching Hanna-Barbera cartoons, or if you watched a certain style, or what's the what is that guy's name? There's a book that has it chronicles the whole 80s, 90s cartoon animation.
I don't know.
But it's like He-Man,
The guy with the Fairly Odd Parents?
No, not that, but it's before
We were
that.
talking about him though, Butch Hartman, yeah.
But it's before that, but
yeah.
that whole how G.I. Joe was animated, how all those I'm trying to remember what the guy's name is, but anyway, that way the stuff was animated, Transformers, is totally foreign when you bring in Ren and Stimpy.
Mm-hmm.
So to some people it is jarring, it is disgusting. Adult Swim was Antoine L. Adult Swim was a perfect name for the weirder mature shows. # Archer. Archer, one of the best. Top 10 shows ever.
I like Robot Chicken on Adult Swim.
I do like Robot Chicken.
I can only take it in doses though. I watch it, I watch a couple episodes and I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'll come back and watch a couple more. Then I'm good.
Yes, Rayshawn K. Animaniacs is getting a reboot on Hulu. I'm excited. Somewhere, I don't even know. You might be able to see it in the corner. I got to meet the people who did the voice creator or the voice actors behind Animaniacs and Comic-Con last year. That was awesome.
Ryan Porter, the style, the substance, and the corny humor.
Okay.
To me, it had no kind of redeeming qualities.
Cool.
I guess I I mean, I'm not knocking his opinion. That's
Yeah.
a lot of people have that opinion. But the question is now, who is this show for? Is it for the people like you who originally watched it, or is it for a more adult? Or are they trying to get a wider audience?
Well, it's weird too, right? Because it's coming to Comedy Central.
Yeah.
But again, I feel like a lot of people who are older are kind of cord cutters, so I don't even know how you're gonna watch it.
Oh, through the app.
Do you not need a subscription?
Probably what's going to happen is, because remember, Viacom is merged with CBS.
Yeah.
And if you go on CBS All Access, you can start to see, like they have the Chappelle Show, they have Ugly Americans. Yeah.
Okay.
So you can start to see this merge where CBS and Viacom is like, in order for us to compete with Disney Plus and getting Mulan and competing with HBO Max, with everything, we're going to have to take all these properties and put them on there. So I bet you Ren and Stimpy being a big reboot for them is probably going to end up on that CBS All Access app.
Okay.
Because they know they can't anchor the whole thing with just nothing but Star Trek.
Right.
Because they don't even have all the Star Trek movies in shows.
Oh man, Silverhawks.
Silverhawks!
Yeah, Thundercats. That was.
I know the Silverhawks theme. I can sing that. Like, that's how much I used to watch that show.
You gonna sing it for us now?
Nah, I don't sing, dude.
Do it.
Peer pressure doesn't work on me. I'm stronger than that.
So are we done talking about
Yeah.
this? And I only say that because the reason, at first, Lauren felt like she was getting left out of these press plays. And she sent me a text saying, "Oh, y'all gonna talk about Ren and Stimpy when I talk about Mulan." So, Lauren, anything you want to talk about?
Mulan.
Start the conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of just have so many questions, and I don't know if you all have found any answers for these, but when it comes to Mulan coming out, this is going to be like the base of how they're going to be able to do these movies in the future, right? So any new releases.
No.
And my friends are like, I'm not going to watch because I'm not going to support this because I don't want to have to pay $30 for a movie. And I'm like, I'm going to pay, but I want to get a group together to pay and see if we can stream it that day. If that's even possible to stream on multiple TVs at that time.
This is what I'm wondering. So the thing that I was thinking, because I read up on it. So the idea is that you pay the $30 on top of your subscription. You have the movie as long as you have the subscription. It's basically an upper tier of Disney Plus. Now this is what I'm wondering. Bob Chapek said, who's the CEO of Disney for right now, because
what do you mean for right now?
Because isn't Chapek is the
Iger's the guy who went out.
But
Chapek is the new guy.
Iger's coming back.
No, not a CEO.
Yeah, he is.
Wait, what?
Remember, Chapek was like, during the pandemic, they were like, yeah, Chapek, you good, but we need Iger to, we did a press play on it. That Iger was
I don't remember what we talked about yesterday.
Anyway, Bob Chapek, who's still kind of working on stuff, had said this is a test run. We're only doing it with Mulan. Now, that $30 gets you, as long as you keep the service, kind of like with PlayStation Plus. You download the game. As long as you pay for the service, you have the game. Or Game Pass, for those of you who have Xbox. If you have a family of 4, we've talked about this several times, it's worth it. If you have a family of 4, you got kids, it's worth it. The question is, it's not worth it for me, for just me and Katie. Now, it depends if my wife wants to watch it, will I drop that $30? But she was like, it's $30? She's like, I'll wait. She's in no hurry. The question becomes, is this the new tiered system where you pay X amount of money, but if you pay another additional monies, you get access to first run movies or first run stuff that normally would drop like on that Friday. This is another way for them to dip twice because parks are at 25% capacity. There are no cruises going on. They can't release anything in movie theaters because we done screwed up the reopening of our country. I could see them saying, for an extra $10, Mandalorian comes out a week or a couple of days early for you.
Yeah, and video games have already done this. They've been doing this for a while. EA Sports will do this with Madden, where you can pay, if you get the Super Edition, that's maybe $10 more. You get it for 3 or 4 days before other people. And I think maybe a couple of Assassin's Creeds have done this. I hope this fails, only because I don't want people like Lauren who are excited to see it. I don't want too many people like Lauren to actually buy this thing and then they see that, oh, there's success, so we can keep doing this.
Now
That's what I'm saying. Like I'm gonna buy it, but I don't want to be that person that makes this a real thing. You know what I'm saying?
Then don't buy it. But see,
Because like literally, they could release anything though. They could release anything, and I wouldn't buy it.
now,
But Mulan's coming out.
so Brett Warren says, unless my wife wants to, he's not doing it. I got a family of 4. I ain't paying.
Yeah, even
Ray Sean K says, I'm just going to buy it on Blu-ray, on 4K Blu-ray.
And that's the thing, right? Because how much is a 4K Blu-ray?
When it
40
first
or
comes,
50?
no, when it first comes out, it's about 30.
Is it for 4K?
Yeah.
I thought that's what
Usually when something comes out, if you buy like a regular 4K, like at Best Buy, Target, it's usually around that 30-something price. Because usually what they'll do is they'll tack on a steelbook and you get it on sale.
Okay.
And then, what is that?
Lauren, that's you?
that was my bad. That was my bad.
And then
Because I had to switch.
the Blu-ray is usually about $30. It's like right under that $30 cap. It's like $27. As you know, I still buy Blu-ray. So
Yeah.
But I think part of the reason why this is coming out, me and Michael talked about it before, was, and Antoine Allen brought it up, $30 is wild on top of a subscription called private streaming. That's why I think they're dropping it.
Mm-hmm.
They have to drop it now before it gets leaked.
Right.
Because it's done. It's sitting someplace on a drive, in a can.
What's getting leaked?
And it's going to get leaked. We remember what happened with the Sony emails and movies getting hacked. Mm-hmm. Disney knows we got to get this out, or we're basically losing money with it sitting on the table. We're already losing money on this end. They drop it in September. You got to sell those toys that haven't come to stores yet, and it's right around that Christmas time. So if you got Mulan on repeat for a kid for the next 2 to 3 months, you can sell them a toy in November.
Friend of the show, Vanessa, I wonder if... Let's text Vanessa right now and see. I wonder if she's going to buy this for Cecily. Just to get a mom's reaction. I'm curious.
And that's what I'm saying, because to me, this is like Mulan, real, not necessarily like on the cartoon level that, we know it's different from the cartoon. And so, to me, it's a little bit more grown than a typical Disney movie, So I don't know if Cecily would be interested in it. It would be dope if she was.
But I honestly don't know. But to Michael's point, he's like, he doesn't want you to buy it. He doesn't want anybody to buy it because he knows if we cave and we show up for $30 on top of the subscription, they will do it again.
Because, go ahead.
That's...
Well, no, because my thing is, I'm not worried about Mulan. I'm worried about Black Widow.
Well, it's funny you said that.
I would pay $30 for Black Widow.
Hey, Zaylin Romero, as soon as you said that, I'd pay $30 for Black Widow.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
Ray Sean K, what do you think they're going to do with Black Widow?
That is, and because...
I mean, that's going to be $10 though. We all know.
I don't think it is. And it's not because I think Mulan is definitely more popular worldwide than Black Widow, but I think Black Widow has that Marvel cachet now thanks to 10 years of Marvel movies. That Marvel tax, they can charge you $30.
And not only that, Black Widow sets up the Marvel Cinematic Universe going forward.
Yeah.
It is a first movie after Endgame.
Yeah.
Because I know you guys are going to say Far From Home, but Black Widow is the first movie for Phase 4.
Yeah.
And that they can get away, and if they can get away with 30 for Mulan, they'll say 45. They'll up it another 5 or 10. Disney, and this is another thing too that I don't think people are paying attention to or realize. Disney's setting itself up for like what luxury companies do. Mm-hmm. They make you pay for the Lexus over the lower tier. They make you pay for the Acura over, and it's basically the same car. If you go back and look at the Honda Pilot, and you what is Honda's luxury line? Is it Acura?
I don't know.
Because Toyota's Lexus.
Yeah.
Ford, it's huh? What do you say?
I don't know.
But everybody has a luxury line.
Right.
When you look at these cars, they're basically the same car. Disney's setting itself up to be a premium brand that's saying, because remember, Disney used to do this all the time when they did their Disney Vault. They would put a movie back in the Disney Vault, and then they would make you wait for it, and then when they release it again, charge you $30 to $40 for a Blu-ray or DVD or however much. And they did this constantly. So they're not above doing this and charging a premium.
Update, Vanessa says, yes. So she's upset about it, but yeah, she's going to pay $30 for Mulan.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta buy it.
So, and again,
I just want to know if I can stream it on multiple, you know what I'm saying, not necessarily at the same time, because that probably won't work at the same time for multiple devices. But if we all share $5,
well, I think if you all had that same account, you probably could, right? Because Disney Plus gives you 7 or 8 accounts per one thing.
Yeah.
So if you were all under that same one, you probably could do it that way.
But this is the question. Disney sets its own rules because they own the service.
Yeah.
You agree to their terms or whatever. Disney could say, okay, it's capped at 4 profiles to watch this movie.
That's true.
Because this is really uncharted water. A lot of people are bringing up that this is a test run. And Bob Chapek said this is a test. We're seeing how this works because he wants to see how many of you will pay this $30 tax.
Vanessa says, I don't want to, but my kid is going to have a meltdown if I don't get it once she sees it available on Disney Plus.
See?
That's like a paid ad, right? As soon as you see it, why can't we watch this?
Yep.
Because I can watch everything else.
And this is the thing.
You know it's going to be huge.
Right. Because this is the thing. When you open Disney Plus, I guarantee you they're going to be like, coming soon, September 3rd or whatever day. It's going to have that front marquee, and then it's going to be commercials playing all the time. Coming to Disney Plus, and if your kid is smart enough and can put 2 and 2 together, we have Disney Plus. Why can't we watch that?
Yeah.
And
True.
it's
Wait, does Disney Plus have commercials?
No, but like when you open it, sometimes what platform you open it on, sometimes it'll show like the marquee right here that has that little where it has like indications of what house you want to go in.
It's been up there for a long time.
Yeah, and also you may not see a commercial on the Disney Plus streaming service, but you will still see a commercial for Disney Plus on TV. Because I've seen commercials for Disney Plus on TV.
Yeah. Oh, you definitely go see that, and that's what they're banking on.
Yeah.
They're banking on those kids seeing that and saying, okay, because that's how a lot of parents end up buying stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Their kid is like, I want that, and they end up buying it. They're in a line. That's why they have that whole line when you go in the store, that register of stuff there to get your attention and your kids' attention. I don't know what I'm gonna do. If my wife wants to watch it, I have to plunk down 30. I don't want to. She's probably not gonna want to, but that depends on if there's nothing else on that we want to watch. But I think Disney's like, we need to get this out. We need to see, because we don't know what the future holds with this new COVID world. We're not making as much money as we used to. And Christmas is right around the corner, and we got to sell these toys.
Yeah. I'm kind of going back through these things. Ryan Porter, you says, anyone a Disney subscriber? You're not. I am a Disney subscriber. Leroy, you and I think both did the same deal for the 3 years, right? Because
I bullied you into it.
I mean, you did, but it was fine because it's cheaper in the long run if I was going to keep it. So yeah, we each did the 3-year deal at $1 something, 120, 130. I don't know what it was.
About 140 something.
Yeah.
You got 3 years.
Yeah, I'm on that Verizon plan. So unlimited Verizon.
You on that mom plan?
Yeah.
So after November, I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, I'm on that mom plan. So shout out to Becky Thomas. She keeps me current.
But yeah, it's gonna be it's gonna be interesting because a lot of people are bringing up movie tickets for next year. We talked about this last week. Movies are not as great as they used to be. There are movies you go to see for the cinematic experience, but television has gotten better.
Oh yeah.
And so a lot of people are like, this is going to be the end of movies. Movies were on the downward trend to begin with. This just, to me, I think hastens that a little bit.
Antoine Allen says, talking about movie tickets, he's talking about they're going to be
I
higher.
like Fast and Furious.
What, as being bad movies?
Yeah, that's what started.
Wow.
And we allowed it to continue.
Hey, I am a fan of Fast and Furious. I know they're not good. I'll see them all. I don't care. Speaking of which,
I love them,
the
but
Fast and Furious game came out
you gotta recognize.
last night. Just throwing it out there.
Would you, that's a good question. Would you pay $30 to see the next Fast and Furious?
I don't think I would.
Really?
Yeah.
You wouldn't pay $30?
No, because I can wait till that comes to whatever.
Okay.
The reason why I would pay $30 for Black Widow is I don't know that it's going to be a great movie. I think it'll be fine. I think I don't think it'll be horrible. Because again, MCU, like, the worst thing I can say about any official MCU movie is that it's boring.
Yeah.
Not necessarily bad. To me, I think that's a big difference. So let's say it's boring, that's fine. But to me, it's more about setting up the seeds for what's coming. That's why I care. I don't really care about setting up the seeds for Han's return or whatever. I'll find that eventually.
I wouldn't pay $30, but I would rent it. And I don't rent movies, but I would rent Fast and Furious. I would rent that. Every now and then I watch them just to like, have them on in the background.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, y'all know that Janelle Monáe's Antebellum is coming.
Yes, it's coming to
The VOD, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And same thing with was it Amy Adams? Her Oscar movie where she saw the guy next door across the street killed his wife and then it wasn't the wife or whatever.
Oh yeah. I forgot about that.
That's going to Netflix.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So everybody's trying to gobble up whatever was coming out for their studio platforms. Vanessa's still trying to talk you into getting Mulan?
No, I'm texting Alicia now.
Oh.
She probably wants me to read her script.
Yeah.
I guess I actually got work to do, so I'm texting her.
But we can talk about that a little bit more. But I want to talk about the Suicide Squad movie, video game.
Yeah.
Michael, you were the one who wanted to talk about that in
Yeah.
Avengers.
Yeah, all right. So, Lauren, are you familiar with the Batman Arkham Asylum game at all? Like the recent string of Batman games that came out for PlayStation 3 through PlayStation 4 and stuff like that? LT?
You asked me a question? Yeah. I'm sorry, they were freezing on me a little bit.
Literally said Lauren.
I did. She said, oh.
He said Lauren.
My internet.
It's all good. I mean, internet is what it is. No, I was asking, were you familiar with the 3 or 4 games recently in the Batman universe that came out made by Rocksteady?
No.
Okay. So, for a while, there was a stigma. Well, not a stigma. I mean, it was a proven thing. I think it was your Batman statue. Where anytime you had a licensed video game, it was garbage, right?
Yep.
That was garbage. Anytime you got a licensed superhero game, it was going to be garbage. And
licensed comic book. Yeah.
Yeah, anything like that. It was always garbage. But Rocksteady Games finally broke the mold by releasing Batman Arkham Asylum in 2000.
There were some good games, the Ninja Turtles games, Maximum Carnage, before they,
Okay, let me rephrase it. There was a good chance if it was licensed, it was going to be garbage.
Yeah.
Not all the time, but most of the time it was going to be garbage. But Rocksteady kind of broke the mold and released the Arkham Universe games, Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, and Arkham Knight.
You got to be Batman.
Yeah, you got to be Batman, and they had a love for the character that nobody had really done with any type of superhero property before. Lots of lore in the games, lots of secrets you could find.
Lots of characters,
yeah,
villains.
I know you said you didn't do all the trophies, right?
Not for the last one.
Yeah, they did this thing called Riddler trophies for the villain Riddler.
Gosh,
they were kind of boring, or not boring, but they were kind of tedious.
And they were hard.
They were hard. But when you did them, there was always some type of Batman lore associated with it. So you could tell they really loved the property. So the last game they did was Batman Arkham Asylum. Nope. Batman Arkham Knight. Mm-hmm. And then they kind of went silent for years, and nobody knew what they were working on.
They didn't do the Batman Walking Dead Werewolf Us. What studio did that? Remember the Werewolf Among Us or whatever?
Oh, you're talking about Telltale.
Telltale, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. They didn't do the Telltale at Click and Point Adventure Games. Mm-hmm. And then WB Montreal made whatever that other Arkham game that they didn't do. I can't remember.
Arkham City.
No, not Arkham City.
Arkham Origins.
Yes, Arkham Origins. There we go. That was them. So everybody was trying to figure out what Rocksteady was working on. They thought it was a new Batman game. And then tweets came out a year ago around, I think, Batman Day. They tweeted out the Court of Owls. And so everybody's like, oh, they're doing a Court of Owls game. And finally they announced that Rocksteady is doing a Suicide Squad game. and WB Montreal is doing a Court of Owls game. Lauren, that's a lot of crap. You ain't got to worry about all that. But I bring all that up to say, do you care about it? Like, do you care about a Suicide Squad game, Lauren? Or somebody? Did you see the movie?
Yeah.
What do you care about a Suicide Squad game?
I think every time I see a movie like that, I always know, okay, that's going to be in the game. That's going to be in the game. Like, I think I watched Thor the other day, and I was like, I'm sure that was in the game. You know? So I think it's always fun to see that come to life on a video game. You know, y'all know me and video games have a love-hate relationship. And I blame that on my cousin who always beat me in every video game. And I talked about this with him before like, I don't play multiplayer games because I have no desire to get my butt whooped every day. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so, but I still appreciate video games. Very much so.
Yeah.
But to me, I'm not going to run to it, but I'm just not a gamer like that. But I think it'll give people another perspective, another opportunity for saying if they like some of these characters to play them, you know, in that setting. So, go for it.
Leroy, somebody who knows a little bit more about the situation, where do you... Okay, well, what's...
Okay, she's now watching.
Oh.
I pay $70 each for one of those games.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Batman Court of Owls in a Suicide Squad game?
Yeah. Son,
let me tell you right now, on next gen,
yeah,
I'm selling all of this shit right here. My bad, y'all. My bad. I had to make sure. Damn it!
Is she in here?
Yeah.
Katie is the best. She's like a ninja, just silently watching through the shadows, not thinking you pay attention. I love it.
Yeah, I'd pay $70 each for one of those games, man. Like,
okay.
Batman, so I have bought 2 outfits for my son in 2 different sizes, newborn and 3 to 6 months. It's 6 months. It's the same outfit, so he can wear something Batman at every stage.
I love it. I mean, we can tell you love of Batman based on the statue you put up here up front.
Ooh.
But the thing about it
Right.
is, do you think there is enough, like, cultural awareness of Suicide Squad for this game to matter to people?
Oh, yeah. Because if you, the question is, how do you do it? Do you do it like with the Avengers game that's coming out? And do you do it, or do you do it like the Batman game and you have like maybe 1 or 2 characters like Harley Quinn and Deathstroke? Or how do you set this up? But I think the whole idea of having these characters, Laura, what are you doing? You just went black like a silhouette.
I have friends that are trying to they're trying to FaceTime me and stuff, and I'm like, I can't do it right now. So my bad.
So I wonder how the game is going to be set up. We already know Rocksteady does a good job, and the reason why I said that is because we know that there's going to be an upper tier with some of these games comes out on next gen. We're going to go we went from 50. We saw a price point jump, and the market is due for another price point jump in the next generation. We already saw it with 2K, NBA 2K, but we hadn't seen it with a lot of other games. We already heard Ubisoft said that they're not going to, their launch titles will stay at 60, but for Rocksteady, we may see a $70 game, and especially with the way games have been doing tiers, where like you buy this version of the game, you get a statue. Michael, you talked about with Final Fantasy, what you got, and then Mortal Kombat.
You know I still haven't played that Final Fantasy game?
You're joking.
Nope.
It's gonna be on Game Pass.
Yeah.
It's gonna be on Game Pass.
I like that statue.
Really?
Yeah. I still haven't played that Final Fantasy VII remake yet.
So yeah, that's one of the things that I can see that game, the hype around it, the Court of Owls. I could see them putting a mask, or whether or not they. Depends on who. Like a Court of Owls game may even have you playing as Nightwing or Robin and not Batman, and making Batman like this ominous character in the background who helps you or you call in.
So for I won't speak for Lauren, but I'll speak for myself. I don't know what Court of Owls is.
Court of Owls.
So what is that?
Is an
Explain
organization that worked in Gotham City,
Mhm.
who had been working behind the scenes to shape Arkham through. They were like an aristocrats,
Like Illuminati?
kind of like that. And they always
Okay.
wore these masks of owls, and they.
There's
They-
always the Illuminati somewhere.
Yeah, and they
Yeah.
basically set up in Gotham, and they have their own assassins. They're called Talons, and kind of like. Remember in The Dark Knight when Liam Neeson was Ra's al Ghul, and he's like, "We've been in cities all over." That's kind of like the Court of Owls, basically.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
without going too
That's
too
fair.
nerdy into it,
Okay.
so you have that. They have like a lore where they're like, I think it's Nightwing is supposed to be like their Messiah. You know, I forget exactly all. It's a lot of stuff. I don't want to hype up other people's channels, but if you want to know more about the Court of Owls, there's a channel called Variant Comics and Comics Explained. Two different channels. They will, if you ever want to know about a story that you are missed out on or you didn't read, they will break down panel by panel and they go in depth. So if you ever want to know about the Court of Owls, Batman Who Laughs, or anything that goes on in comics, Variant Comics and Comics Explained. You would like Variant Comics because he loves Power Rangers.
Okay. Question for you, Leroy.
Yeah.
What type of gameplay do you think you would get in this Court of Owls? Well, for both games, in the Court of Owl games and the Suicide Squad game, is it going to be like more Batman, but now you're not playing as Batman, you're playing as other characters? Because we kind of got that with Arkham Knight, where you could play as Catwoman or Nightwing or Red Hood and maybe somebody else too.
I think you're going to see more of that. I think with the polish of the next gen that they're already working on this, I think you're going to be able to see levels where you'll be able to play maybe as different people, or maybe, and again, we don't know because we don't know what developers are doing. Imagine playing the game and having 3 or 4 different characters and playing the game, and then each character takes you down a different path, like kind of like what Resident Evil did, where you're in the same environment, you're playing and you meet up at certain parts in the game, but the game plays so differently for the 2 characters that you have.
Right.
I could see that in a longer standard game. We've already seen it done, and with the new way these games load, where you saw with Ratchet and Clank, or you saw with Medium, you're able to have these 2 worlds intersect without any big load time. So you could literally go from Lauren playing Poison Ivy, or let's say Harley Quinn, immediately going into King Shark or
No, just for Court of Owls, just for Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad.
Okay.
And Court of Owls.
And
you
is
could,
that similar to what they did with Last of Us too?
Last of Us, the first one, you did have a moment where you played as what's the guy's name? It starts with a J.
Joel?
Joel, thank you.
Yeah.
Where you played as Joel and then you moved
was that
over to
different?
Ellie. I didn't play Last of Us 2, so don't spoil it, guys. But you could see that where you literally go from different characters simultaneously, where you like it's handed off and you move between these worlds with these characters. We don't know how that progression is going to look, but I could definitely see the entire Bat family fighting the Court of Owls and you playing the game in different parts as different characters.
So, I have one more question for Suicide Squad for you, Leroy. And Lauren, this would matter to you too. Do you think that it's the Suicide Squad characters that you're going to play as? Is it going to be the ones that we've seen in the movie?
Oh,
or are they going to go with more obscure characters?
I think both.
Okay.
I think, but I guess it also depends on how well. Is it going to be more of Avengers-like, where you like with this Crystal Dynamics game, or the Rocksteady going to keep the same formula, just interchange different characters? Rocksteady could be doing something totally new we've never seen, considering you have a cadre of characters with Suicide Squad and the Bat family. So I don't know, but the one thing I did like was the Suicide Squad logo was on Superman's head.
Yeah.
For some of those tweets, and I'm like,
So yeah, are you attacking? Well,
like, are you like?
and they said that the I can't remember who wrote this or reported it, but they said that the title might be Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League.
Yeah.
So it would be interesting if like your main targets are that maybe something had happened to the Justice League and now they're evil or something, so now you got to go after them. That'd be interesting to see if that's how that
That'd be
plays
cool.
out. Yeah. Lord, so for you, does it matter to you like who the characters are? Do you want to see people that you saw in the movie, or do you care if it's new people, or does that not matter either way?
I like a mix of both. You know, like they're introducing us to so the people who have only seen the movie or basically know these characters on a basic level. You know, I think it's good to have those basic characters in there, but then also give us the other characters that help make them great. You know, and giving us some of that storyline, that behind the scenes, similar to what they did with Mortal Kombat too.
One of the
All
things
the Mortal Kombat.
Ray Sean K says
Mortal Kombat also.
the
Nice.
game is going to tie in with the new Suicide Squad movie. So that around the same time, the Suicide Squad movie is coming out. What, 2022?
Who knows, man?
Right.
But I guess, but that would be great to see if the characters that they use, because they already know what characters they're going to have.
Yeah.
What characters they use in the movie would be, and then you also have some obscure, other characters that you have seen in the comics come into the game.
I think it would be interesting if, because the whole, granted, I'm not the comic man, you are, but one thing I do know about Suicide Squad is the reason why they're called Suicide Squad is they can die. So that would be interesting to see if your character dies and then you can't use that character anymore in the game.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm, excuse me.
Expendable.
Yeah.
I really like the idea of doing something different. Like, I love the Batman games, but I really like the idea of doing something different with and having more power to be able to put in more characters and basically changing how you play this game. So, like, what would be honestly cool is, let's say Suicide Squad is a 3 to like a 4-person co-op. So let's say all 3 of us could pick a character and play a different, you see what I'm saying? Because you can already do that with Avengers.
Yeah.
So imagine if, like, I'm Deathstroke, you're Harley Quinn, and she's Captain Boomerang. I didn't do it for that. I'm just saying, like, different characters.
That's
But
fine.
the idea is that we all could play as 3 different characters taking on this mission.
Right.
I don't know how this would work, but the idea is that with these new powerful consoles, the door's wide open for what they could do.
Sure. I think
Because maybe I could be working on my characters, what they need to be finding and everything, and we all come together at some point. Like, they're still single player, but you can meet up to battle or to help fight some of the other characters. I don't know.
You brought up a good point. Ray Sean K brings up. That's why I'm so excited for the new Watch Dogs game. That honestly is going to be a good indication, because remember, that game was designed for this current generation and upgraded for next gen. This, whatever these 2 games are, will be specifically for next gen.
Do we know that?
I don't think they're backwards. I don't think they're going back.
Okay. Because I didn't know if they were announced, like, what platform they're coming to.
You're right. I don't know that. I'm assuming that since they were so far out, they're
True.
done
Yeah.
with this generation.
Yeah.
Especially considering PlayStation 4 said they weren't doing any more. What was it? Ghost of Tsushima was their last first party game for PlayStation 4.
So
Leroy, Ryan Porter said when you coughed, he grabbed his hand sanitizer.
boy, I'm paranoid. I love it.
I am too, man. I got hand sanitizer. I'll be wearing a mask everywhere.
I mean, we got this new desk for social distancing. So yeah, we are trying to do what we can here at the station.
Yeah, no, I stay social distant.
Yeah, we see you over here in your laboratory and whatnot. Yes.
In Lawrence Land.
Now that's a show I would watch.
Yeah.
That's a show I would watch.
You want to talk about, and we can go from DC to Marvel now, talking about a similar game.
Well, Avengers, because you
Marvel's
talked about
Avengers.
the beta comes out this weekend.
So if you pre-ordered on PS4, the beta is out this weekend. Next weekend it is for anybody on PS4. Then the weekend after that, I want to say it's everybody.
Yeah.
Which is PS4, PC, and Xbox.
You're still excited for the game.
I mean, I'll try it tonight and see.
Okay.
I get to try it for free because it's not like I don't have to buy the game with my pre-order. I can always get that money back, so I'll try it out. But we don't know what the Suicide Squad game is, but you talked about the idea of you picking a character. We each pick 3 different characters and we level that character up. We get gear for them and all that stuff. That's essentially what you're doing in Marvel's Avengers. Because when you play with other people, you can't have 2 Hulks on a team or 2 anybody. Everybody has to be somebody different. So you're doing that Avengers. You're fighting A-Day. You're trying to take on AIM and MODOK and all that stuff. And the question that we had is exclusivity a big deal?
We talked about it last week.
Yeah, for Avengers, because we know the Spider-Man character is exclusive to PlayStation 4.
Yep.
Or Sony.
Sony,
because it'll be on PlayStation 5 too.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I don't like this idea of exclusive characters because I want people to be able to play on everything, and I feel like it goes against. Oh, you like it?
You're
Keep
not
going.
a corporation, Michael.
You say what?
You're not the big bad corporation.
Right. But I guess also it's like I like the idea of not just cross-generational between like PS4 and PS5, but I like cross-play of being able to play. Hey, I have an Xbox. Let's play with somebody who has a PlayStation. I think that's a great idea, and this kind of dilutes that a little bit. If I guess it's almost impossible because you couldn't play.
they haven't said whether or not Avengers is cross-play yet.
But I don't see how it could be, right? Because how would you play with somebody who has Spider-Man?
You just can't play Spider-Man.
But
What
like,
if they were blurred?
you just see a blur in the game. You're not allowed to see Spider-Man. That would be wild.
I see both sides, but I know a lot of times I criticize Microsoft for some of the things that they do. That's only because I think competition breeds the best. I think when you have two of these huge companies trying to make the best games for gamers, I think we win out in the end. I'm coming around to Microsoft's way of thinking about where we have two different philosophies. The thing I will say, even though as a gamer, I'm not really a big fan of exclusivities and stuff like that because of the money that's involved in it. Mm-hmm. But as a corporation, I say Sony's like, we have always done this. We will always we are for the gamer. If you want to play the best games, the most exclusive games, you got to come here. Mm-hmm. Microsoft has always been like, we have the environment for you to play as many games as you want, however you want, whenever you want to. Mm-hmm. This is a business, and as much as I hate saying this, that's your job is to make money. And Sony's like, we're here to sell consoles and games. And if it takes us playing Spider-Man and it's only in this game, what you go do? My problem with it is Microsoft should fight, to me, and I don't like the console war. I love DC and Marvel both. I love Microsoft and Sony both. But Microsoft should come up with something and say, yo, for those people who play games on their console who have been loyal Microsoft fans, where is the rebut to this? Mm-hmm. Because this is how you get, because people are going to look at the game and be like you said, I can only play this game with Spider-Man on this console. Mm-hmm. It's almost a slap in the face. But Sony's like, we don't cater. Yeah. This is what we do.
Lauren, hearing that you can only play Spider-Man with the Sony versus Xbox, would that make you more likely to buy the game for Sony over Xbox, or do you not even care about Spider-Man character?
I do care about Spider-Man's character. I feel like I'd be pissed, and I'd want to know. And I'm looking at the comments because Brian Porter says no gamers. I feel like Nintendo has always been that friendly hands that we needed, you know, in the midst of the Sony Microsoft war. Nintendo has always been okay. So if you just want happiness and joy and love and peace, come to Nintendo. You know. I would be pissed though if I, don't get Spider-Man with this game. Like he's an Avenger. He's part of that core group. I mean, the second wave, but still part of the core.
Right.
And I'd be upset. I wouldn't know what to do.
My question is this: because right now they're only doing it with Spider-Man. They're doing an Avengers game. Only Spider-Man is Sony exclusive. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I hadn't said this
yet.
They
gotta figure that out, because to me that don't make sense.
And this, I guess, this is where the other side of me says they hadn't said and nobody's asked. Does that mean just Spider-Man or all Spider-Man characters? Mm-hmm. Is that Miles Morales? Is that Silk?
Miles Morales?
Because what I'm asking is, does that just mean Spider-Man is in Avengers? Or down the road when they start, because Hawkeye is cross-platform. Mm-hmm. When they start releasing more and more characters, is Miles Morales going to be another one that they hold just for Sony?
Yeah. And
nobody's asked them that. And they haven't come and said anything, and because no one has asked.
There's a couple of things with that too, right? Mm-hmm. Because the head of Square Enix, or no, probably Eidos, whoever's Crystal Dynamics, I think, came out and talked about. They kind of clarified a little bit more about the exclusivity deal, saying this was kind of Sony's prerogative. So I'm guessing Sony paid some type of large amount of money And there's always been a question of whether Spider-Man recently is he allowed to be on other platforms?
It's all based on what
Because it's only
Sony
been on
wants.
Sony.
Yeah.
But if you go back to Nintendo Switch, Marvel's Ultimate Alliance does have all your Spider-Man characters. So you do have, it's got Venom, it's got Spider-Man, Peter Parker, and Spider-Man Miles Morales, and Gwen Stacy.
When did that game come out?
It came out after Spider-Man on PS4.
No. When did it come out for the movie? Because remember, a lot of the reason why Sony's playing hardball now with a lot of the Spider-Man characters is because they now have they have a franchise they want to build.
Mm-hmm.
They're making the Venom movie. They're making Morbius. They're making these movies so that they can utilize these Spider-Man characters to build up their franchise. So the idea that they were in Marvel Alliance was probably under an old regime of saying, yeah, you can play with Spider-Man. He's great. Mm-hmm. That may not be for the future because their movie deal and their merchandising rights are tied up with how do we reap the most out of having this character.
And somebody goes in and says, Ryan Porter, Sony owns the Spider-Man rights. They control everything. And the way I always interpreted it was they own the movie rights.
They own the movie
and
rights.
Like TV rights, but game rights are still kind of
the
whatever.
Game rights and merchandising rights. There's certain things that Marvel gets. It is convoluted how it works, but it works for them. But remember, Marvel or Disney is not above playing hardball with the characters they own. Mm-hmm. Remember, for those of you who read comics, Marvel canceled Fantastic Four and canceled X-Men comics and made them stale for years just to play hardball with Fox. So
and now Fox is owned by
and now so Fox couldn't have new material to use in their movies.
Yeah.
Disney is not above. So I say that not understanding that Sony is different than Disney. Don't expect Sony to act any different. Mm-hmm. You've seen this before when somebody owns a character. They want to make the most out of that money. And that's why I said I understand it. I don't like it. I don't have to like it. But
yeah, because it is a business.
It's a business. And
but
that's...
Stanley can see this now.
And another thing, I don't know if anybody has asked this question. Is Spider-Man only exclusive for a limited time?
No.
I don't feel like that's ever been, and I may have missed that article.
I think it's exclusive for Sony.
Oh, you think just forever?
I think it's exclusive. See that, and that's why I said this sets. As much as I understand, and I'm saying, you know what, you're a company, you can do whatever you want. This is another one of those things where we have to vote with our dollars if you like it or don't like it. Mm-hmm. This sets a trend for exclusive characters on certain things. But remember, Crystal Dynamics is no faithful partner because Crystal Dynamics, remember, did the same thing with Tomb Raider
for Xbox.
Right.
Right.
So it's not as if like Crystal Dynamics is a loyal partner.
Right. But in that case, the game did eventually come to
it did,
Sony.
And so that's why I said it could be for a limited time. It could be, or it could be one of those things where they're like, yeah, we're not seeing sales like we want. So let's put it on Xbox.
Yeah.
And again, that could be what we see in the future, but that's something you have to consider when you're buying these consoles and you're buying these games, because right now we just talked about the Suicide Squad. Well, we have seen before exclusive DLC or exclusive games for certain consoles. This year we saw Modern Warfare, the remastered, only came out on PlayStation. Mm-hmm. So this is not anything new. It's just getting more and more laser focus.
Somebody brought up Miles Cage a couple of comments ago. He said, to me, the Avengers game looks trash. And some other people talk about the models look wrong. And I think the game in more recent war tables that they've shown has looked better than when we first did our reaction trailer to it.
Mm-hmm. We first saw it. I was like,
yeah, we were not impressed. I agree.
They've cleaned up a lot of the models. They still don't look great. But
they don't look Lord Farquaad for Black Widow. You're right.
Yeah, that's Lord Farquaad.
But they look better now, and seeing the game run at 4K, 60 frames per second with all this extra lighting, it does look a lot better. I think it's overall an art direction more so than just graphical power too. Mm-hmm. They kind of have this look of, they want it to look like the MCU, and as great as MCU is,
if you're going for that look, you got to perfect it.
Right. And it's not even that MCU is great, but one thing that you could say against MCU is you don't necessarily get like these comic book colors. They don't necessarily pop.
No.
All their stuff is kind of drab, and that's
muted,
not purpose. Yeah. That's what they want it to look like because it looks realistic. So that's what the game is doing too. I think they're trying to get away from that in terms of like the costume characters or the costume
Skins,
choices and the skins you can do.
Because
So,
I would like. I understand the MCU is what's popular right now. I want to see all the different versions of costumes Captain America has, Thor has. I like Buzz Cut Thor, a long, golden, herbal essence Thor, where he has the locks. Give me Hawkeye, where he's like.
You got Fat Thor on there?
See,
Who knows?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
he could come.
you with the history of comics, you have so many different outfits you could have. So I don't understand why you went with such a watered down look, because you just mentioned Marvel Alliance. We've seen comic accurate, we've seen Magneto look like Magneto.
Yeah.
We've seen Apocalypse look like Apocalypse, Omega Red. So put those people in these games with updated graphics. We will buy it.
Yeah.
I'm not buying this one, but you looking at the comments?
Well, no, I was trying to go back to...
Keith Robinson said it looked like the Revengers.
Yeah.
Great value Avengers.
Right.
Oh, Damien Estrada asked all the way to the top, what's y'all thoughts on Xbox canceling Game Pass and going Android?
I don't know yet.
They didn't cancel Game Pass.
They changed it.
Yeah, so you can't buy the 12-month Xbox Live or whatever anymore. Now it's either 1 month or 3 months. So they kind of changed the rules, but I believe they still have.
And they're trying to get rid of gold.
Well, no, they said they're keeping gold.
It's all of it's in flux because I don't think they know what they're doing yet.
Oh, and then Xbox. I like the idea of the xCloud streaming on Android stuff, and I wish that Apple would play nice, but Apple is Apple, and they won't work with people, so that's why it's not coming to Apple devices.
Nope.
But
That's why you get you a Samsung.
But I think Xbox has the right idea of streaming stuff, right? Because we talk about it. Damien Estrada kids me about it, but Google Stadia it's a cool idea, but it's not where it needs to be.
But you know what?
What?
If I was Microsoft, I'd do a nice little deal under the table and be like, hey, let me buy that architecture from you. Or honestly, if Sony was smart, Sony should buy that architecture and be like, we need to start incorporating, because they're behind the 8 ball when it comes to streaming and getting a service up and running. Because PlayStation Now is not as great as Xbox Game Pass is. And you mentioned a service. Lauren could get, with her laptop, can use Game Pass and play a multitude of games on there without ever having to buy another system. And that's still money in Microsoft's pocket.
That's what I was going through here, because I wanted to see who was going to be playing the beta this weekend. I know Brian Gamer talked about it. Is anybody else playing the Avengers beta?
Brian Gamer says, Mike, don't forget to add him for Avengers. Brian 027. Yep.
Well, I didn't know if he wanted his business out there. That's why I didn't put.
It's in the chat. How do you not know there's business out there?
But no, you could either hide or show it.
Oh, you can?
Yeah, I think you just clicked on it and made it show.
I did?
Yes.
Dang.
That's why.
My bad, Brian. That's on me.
Okay, Brian.
I don't think I did that, but
Or,
if I did.
Yes. That's why I was talking to him like I was. But cool. Is anybody else playing the beta?
My bad, y'all. That's on me. I'll take that hit.
But yeah, Brian, if you're on PlayStation, man, if that's you on, I'll add you tonight for sure. You'd let me know your first impressions. I've never been real big on it. I've always liked the Marvel Alliance games, and I like I like the idea behind it. It just didn't look that great to me. I want to play it. I want it to be good, but I don't know. But I still got a couple of things to get through before I get to Avengers. I still got to get Ghost of Tsushima and Last of Us 2. So I got to figure out how I'm gonna play this beta and
I know what I'm playing.
Sims.
What?
It's The Sims. My families are lit.
Did you do the 100 Baby Challenge on Sims?
I did not do the 100 Baby Challenge, but I've watched somebody do it on YouTube.
Okay, cool.
But my Sims are ratchet, man. They ratchet.
Like Whack Ratchet?
Just being extra. Just all they trying to work. They're trying to get their money up just so they can go out and meet other people and relations and whatnot.
Word.
So
living their best life.
I mean, I guess that's it for us, right?
yeah,
I still gotta go finish the show.
that show ain't.
It's mostly done, but yeah.
It's Friday.
Yeah, it's Friday.
It's Friday.
Just rehash that 7. But yeah, guys, this has been fun. So let us know what you're playing. We got some other videos up, some reviews that we did. We're gonna try to get a review of Lower Decks up later. The first episode.
Are we?
Yeah, later.
Oh, you mean like not today?
I mean, sometime soon.
Okay, because like I thought we were doing it earlier. I'm going home now after the
Wait.
show.
Wait, quick question. Y'all finished Umbrella Academy, right?
No, hadn't even started.
One of us finished it. I finished it.
Oh.
You finished it?
I'm about to say, that's another thing that got me through the week. Yeah, I finished Umbrella Academy. I'm at home.
She said I'm at
The
home.
first time I've come out this week for work was today.
when you did that story about the guy who got his car stolen with his baby in it?
Yeah, with the baby inside.
Yeah.
That's the first time I've gone out for work.
Meanwhile, I'm over here with the sad face driving to work because I'm considered essential.
Oh,
You are essential.
Yes. Me and you are essential.
Yeah. Well, I got to come in here every day
Wonderful.
with the sad face.
Say bye to these people.
All right, guys. We really appreciate everybody coming out tonight. Stay safe. Wash your hands. Wear your mask when you can. Want to say
Wear your mask.
shout out Miles Cage Jr., D. Steezel, Antoine L., Brian Gamer, Zayla Monroe, IMAX, Brian Porter, Ken from Chicago, O'Keefe Robinson. Hold on, I want to get some more. Joe Ellis. Did I say D. Steezel?
You did now.
Okay. Boundless Book Owl. IMAX, thanks for the heads up about the other channel. I'm going to try to check some of those channels out. Like I said, if you like comics, check those. Comics Explained and Variant Comics. Scrolling through.
Okay.
Rayshawn K.
Brick Warren.
Breck Warren. Breck Warren said he ain't paying that $30.
Yeah, Katie Green.
I'm not talking to her.
Katie Green. Keeping people honest.
But hear about that stuff later. Damon Estrada. Katie. She had a lot to say. Ooh, I'm gonna hear about this. CB Hunts. I think I got everybody. Ike Moore.
Shout out to my bestie Trey Green is watching too.
Who? Payjon J. What's up?
My bestie Trey Green.
Trey Green. Why he ain't say nothing?
He lurking, but he's on.
David Cooper, what's up? I think I got Martin S. I'm trying to get through everybody. But yeah, guys, appreciate you coming out tonight. Say what's up to Lauren. It's been a while since we had Miss Thomas here. And, so hopefully we'll be able to keep her, coming here on Fridays, lighting you guys up, blessing y'all with this. Michael, we out. Hit that button.
Guess I hit it over here now.
Peace.